Guys, today we're back with another vibes. We're vibing with the Land Rover Defender 1/8 scale. We're going to take it off the box and we're going to show you how it functions. But my real goal for this vehicle is to modify it. We're going to change a lot of parts on this thing to make it the best crawler that I can make it. So I'm going to show you how we're doing this. So let's get inside the box and show you what's going on. Inside the box, we got the manual, comes with a winch. At the bottom of the box here, we got the radio, 2.4 gigahertz radio, and we got a battery. And here, we got the charger for the battery. The battery is a LiPo battery. It's at 3000 milliamp, 7.4 volt. Right here is your off and on. And this little switch right here is for your high and low gear. And here is to reverse the motor, go forward or backward. And this one right here is to reverse the steering. Up front here, this is your steering trim and this is your throttle trim. And at the bottom here, guys, where the battery is supposed to go, we have a screw. So you gotta unscrew this little screw right here. So fill it with the screw. So we're gonna take off this screw and we can open up this. Guys, you take 4 AA batteries. Guys, what I notice here, when I'm holding the controller, my finger is pretty big to go in here, and I notice my trigger finger is touching the steering wheel. It's kind of small for my hand. Alright, so now let me show you how the battery get hooked up, how it's charging. So to charge up your battery, it's very simple. You push this in here, like that, and you just push this in any USB, and it's going to charge. And it's got this light, red and green, to show you when it's charging. And when you turn all green, I guess it's charged. Guys, check this out. You can't beat the details on this truck. I really love that about this truck. So let's take off these pieces of plastic here and get inside the door. Take this off. Let me open up the back door. Remove that sticker right here. There we go. And you know what's so cool about it, guys? The doors open so wide. Alright, so let's move on to some more details. Guys, check out the interior inside this truck. Check out the back seat and all that. All the details, inside the truck. And that's what I really like about the Defender. You can see all the gear shift, all the console, the mirror. Plastic look like real glass, guys. Cool door handles. Check out the gas tank cover, guys. Now the details on this truck, I love it. Air vent on the fender. All the little details on this truck, I really like it. The indicator light on the side of the fender. Yo, I can't express how much I like the details on this truck. Let's move on to show you some more vibes. Now check out the side step. It's got this diamond looking aluminum look, guys. The details, I tell you, the details is really put together. The fender have that kind of black matte finished. Now guys, check this out. Check out these 2 hooks. This is metal, 2 of them. Here we got a fake winch, and here we got Land Rover Defender details right here, and we got a radiator cut-off grill, Land Rover Defender written on top here. Lights inside the slide bucket. These 2 here just holders for lights, but you can put lights here. And the bumper, I like it, it's plastic, but that's what it is. We got Defender right here too. Let's move on so I can show you some more of the details. We're gonna lift up the bonnet. The bonnet is held on by magnets. It's got 4 magnets, 1 here, 1 there, 1 up here, and 1 here. Guys, inside the bonnet, we got the off and on switch right here. This is where your battery is going to go. There's a slim area for your battery, and this is your plug. You get a DINS plug here. Pretty simple in there. So we got some wiper blades up front. Even on the bonnet here, you got little hinges to show you that this thing can open up, move back and forth like so. Check that out. Also on the side of the bonnet here, we got some breathing vent, Guys, check the bed of the truck. Pretty deep. You can take a oil can back there, lying this way, standing this way, so you could take some pretty good scale stuff in the back here, So the size is pretty good back there. Alright, so let's move on now to show you the lights at the back and how the tailgate open up and all that. We got some more tow hooks back here, which is metal. And we get brake light. This light is working. This indicator is just space to put lights. And this one up here, same. We get a number plate light here. It's just plastic. I don't think you get anything inside of it. And let me show you how the tailgate open up. Just turn this little thing right here, just like that. And tailgate drop down. Pretty cool, guys. Spin this back like so. And the tailgate is locked. Shaking around a bit. But I guess we can, put something there to hold it so you don't make that kind of noise, So I'm thinking maybe put a piece of rubber or just put a dot of hot glue between the space, and that would hold it firm. We got Land Rover for the number plate right here. Land Rover over here again. Even show you the little screws to hold the tailgate, So I like it. Guys, I cannot complain. The bumper is not too big, It's a little bit shaky, but I'm sure we can fix that. Let's move into other details so I can show you what's going on. So we got a few more pieces of stickers here to take off. So the other side of the doors. Now we can check out the details inside of the truck from the driver's side. Guys, I just love how these doors open up so wide, you know, so you can see right through the truck. It's amazing. Got steering wheel, it moves around. So we're gonna put some action figures inside there. Let me close up inside the truck and show you. Let's see how close we can get with the details in there. Look at that gear shift, guys. Look at all these details in there. Watching the dashboard, all the speedometer and stuff, you know. Got your radio in there. There's a lot going on in there, guys. Look at that. Now check out all that cool stuff in there. It's amazing how you can see so much in there. You got pedals, your clutch, your brakes, and your accelerator. You got also 2 holders to put your drinks, and check the console right there. All right, let's check out the back seats. You see on the flooring, guys, look like you get a matte, you know, finish on the flooring. You know, check out the details on the door. Now the details on the door is even crazy, guys. Look at the handle to wind up the glass. Look at it. Even the handle to hold to pull the door in, to open the door. Yo, check this. Beautiful. It's amazing. I like it. And on the front door, look at all that. Look at the lock, you know, when it goes down and it goes up. Door handle to pull the door, to open the door. This is amazing details. Check this out, guys. Check out the details inside this truck. You got your little handle here to hold. It's beautiful. Check out this shot from the back seat, guys. I just gotta mention, they even give you 2 little holes here so you can tie down stuff, you know. It's got 2 on the other side. The tire is a little bit stiff, but it's vented. I guess you can press against rocks good and grip, you know. Plastic rims, and you got this cap right here you can remove. So guys, my real goal for this Defender is to modify it. I'm gonna take off all the electronics, change the shocks, change the wheels, tires, everything. I'm just gonna take off the differential. I noticed that the electronics is not the best, axles is not the best, so I want this truck to really perform on the rocks. And when I take it out on the trail, so I'm going to really modify this truck. I'm going to set it up, and you guys going to see how it look and how it perform, and you guys can tell me what you all think. Now we're going to put a battery inside of the truck and show you how it functions. Put some battery in the controller. Now we're going to turn on the power on the controller, and then we're going to turn on the power on the truck. Guys, something already smoked out in the truck. The truck don't have any reverse gear. This is why I need to change this thing. See, no reverse gear. It's going forward, but not backward. It's only going forward, guys, no backward. So I guess the reverse gear already burned out. Guys, we got headlight, and we also got tail light. Guys, check out the steering. The steering is not too strong. All right, guys, check this out. Got some juice. That's your low gear. That's your high gear, but no reverse. No reverse, guys. So this switch in the corner here, this is your low gear and high gear. And then switch it back. Alright, so no reverse gear, but we got low gear and high gear. You know what, that is no problem. I know I have to change all this electronics. Alright, so we couldn't even get to run it. We don't have any reverse gear. I'm just going to change all the electronics and put new electronics. I'm going to put a Fusion in there, 1800 kV. Now guys, we're going to remove the body. There's a couple screws that we got to remove here. We're going to take off those screws and get the body off so we can see what's happening under there. Underneath here, we got metal drive shaft, metal links, upper links and lower links, and we get 4 links on each side, so 8 in all. So it's very steady. There's no twisting, nothing like that, you know what I mean? So it's pretty strong back here. So I'm going to remove all the screws and show you what's going on. All right, so let's remove the chassis from the body. Remove it off. And we can take up the chassis. That's it, the body is out. All right guys, so I'm about to remove all this electronics inside here. This right here, this plastic on the side, this like toy grade plastic, guys. Look at this piece is shaking already. Oh, a screw fall out. Just by shaking it, the screw fall out. See? So it's a lot of weak ends on this thing, but the chassis is good, the body is good, the design is good, but we just have to change a lot of stuff here. All right, so let me take off this electronics. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm taking off this screw and that one so I can take off the whole gearbox so I can remove that motor. So I have to remove this pin for the first and second gear. I have to take off this piece of metal here, and there's another 2 screws at the bottom here that I have to remove so I can get the gearbox off. So now guys, I removed the screws. I can just take the gearbox off. Now we're going to remove the motor. We got 3 screws to remove. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to take off those screws and we'll get the motor off. Guys, so we get the screws off. Now we're just going to pull this apart. Just like that. All right, so now what we need to do is remove this motor. It's got 2 screws holding it down. We're just going to take that off. Okay, so now we get the screws off. Let's just take this off here. Just like that, guys. Pretty easy. And we're gonna see what kind of pinion gear they have in there. There's no marking on the pinion gear, but I want to believe it's a 14-tooth pinion. Guys, on the gearbox, we have plastic spur gear with a metal pinion gear. So now that we get the gearbox apart and we remove the motor, we're gonna change the motor and put a Fusion in there, 1800 kV. Guys, we get the Fusion up on the bracket. We just had these 2 screws here. Put back this one and that one and put the pinion gear back together. So now we're just gonna hook it up on the gearbox. So it was not difficult at all, guys. I just, put it back exactly the way I took it off. So it's pretty easy. And then we have just 3 screws to put back, guys. So we put the 3 screws back. 1, 2, 3. So now the gearbox and the motor is all back together, and I'm going to test it before I put it up on the vehicle. I have this receiver here and we're going to put it on 2. We're going to put a battery on, and we have this adapter to fit. We're using the Fly Sky GT5. I'm going to turn that on. We're going to turn the power on. Get power. And we're going to hold this up and show you these 2 pieces of shaft here should be able to spin. See, they're spinning, guys, so the motor is working. All right, so now we can put it up on the vehicle. Just like that. Now all we have to get is this little piece of flip back in there, and 2 screws at the bottom and 2 on top here, and that is going to hold the gearbox and the motor in place. Guys, we get the pin back inside for the gears, for the low gear and the high gear. So the pin is back. Now we're just going to put the screws on, and that will complete putting up the gearbox and the motor. And then we're going to move on to taking off the differentials. Check this out, guys. Check out the steering. It's a bit sloppy, and I noticed that the screw at the bottom here is too long. See, it's making a mark right there. So check this out. When the steering moves, see, it's making a mark on the plastic. So the screw is too long. Guys, we're going to take down the wheels. Going to do some time lapse and take down all these wheels. So now, guys, we're going to take off all these links in them here, remove the shocks, and we're going to take off the differential. So now what we're going to do here, remove the screw on the servo horn. Now we take off the steering arm. See how long that screw was, guys? See that? Way too long. So the steering arm is off. Even the servo arm have play. All right, so next step is to take off this arm right here. I'm going to do some time lapse so we can get it over with quick. So guys, we get all the diff off with the shocks. So now we're going to remove this piece of dry shaft here. We're going to be using this again. Alright, so this piece, we're going to be using this because this is metal. So this is one of the best part of the vehicle, to be honest. And the underneath, dry shaft is really beefy and nice. So I like that. Alright, so we're going to take off the other piece. We're saving all the good parts that we need. It's not really worth it. We're just taking it off. Like the servo, the diff, the shocks. We're just stripping it down, guys. One more piece here to remove. Oh, they really lock it down tight. And trust me, this piece is real tight, guys. Okay, so we got it off. We don't have no use for these pieces anymore. So now we're going to move on to take off the servo. We don't need that servo. Just flip this over. The servo is pretty weak, so we don't need that. Let me save this pin right here so I don't lose it. So now the servo is off. So now we can put in our new servo and all the pieces of diff and stuff. I'm just checking the chassis to see if it's flexible, you know. The back bumper has some play. Front bumper is okay, but the back one have a little play. Hey guys, I'm just going to check the shocks and see how it looking. Let's check this out and see. Wow, the shocks full of grease, guys. No oil in there, just grease. Wow, I don't even know if I can put oil in there, but the shocks look like you have great seal. You know, all the rubber seal and stuff around here. Anyway, I'm leaving the shocks alone. Also got some RedCat shocks, so the spring in these shocks is very stiff. All right, let's get rid of this. Guys, let me show you some vibes here. So I had to unscrew this and take off the plastic piece inside it. All these pieces here have plastic in them, so I gotta take them off, and I'm taking these ones here from the RedCat and put inside. So that's what I'm doing here, and I decided to use the RedCat diffs. The shocks is same thing like the original shocks that come off on the Defender, so I decided to use this. And guys, check this out. So I'll be taking off this plastic bushing inside there, and I'll be putting metal. So all I do, I just take the pliers, pop it out like so, and I'm gonna take this one here and just do the same thing with the pliers, pop it out just like that. And now I'm gonna put this one in here. So it's pretty easy to do. That's it. So I did that with all 8 of the links. So they're all plastic inside this thing. So I removed the plastic and I put in the metal. All right, guys, let me show you some vibes here. These 2 links, the 2 long links, which is this 2 right here, they're too long. See, I changed those 2 here. So I'm going to change this 2 again. I'm using the Traxxas high lifter links, because when you try to put them together here, like you have to go in the bottom here and just look at that for a minute, and when you put it right there, see this one is not touching, it's too short, so I gotta get rid of this 2. So I'm going to take this off, put this 2 on, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So guys, I'm completed the setup of all the arms at the bottom. So let me show you. So I used the Traxxas high lifter arms. You see the blue ones at the bottom? I used the high lifter arms at the bottom, which come from this kit right here, from the Traxxas kit. And that worked perfect. It was a lot of modification to make this thing work, guys, but I finally did it, and now I can show it to you. So if you're going to use the RedCat differential, just remember the 2 links at the bottom. You got to use some Traxxas, so any other ones that you have what can fit, and the original links on top. Or let's say the Traxxas link on top and the original links at the bottom, because if you flip this over, this would be on top and this is in the bottom. And here on the differential, if you notice this right here, this one is at the bottom. To get the drive shaft straight, I use the hole on the top on the differential right here and the hole on the bottom of the differential on the front to get the drive shaft nice and straight, so no kink in the drive shaft. So the back is at the top and the front is at the bottom. I'm going to close you up and show you. So right here, guys, there's 2 holes. There's one on the top here, so you can put the arm on top, and there's one at the bottom. So I'm using the bottom hole on the front, and at the back I'm using the top hole. So this is the modification that I did to get this Defender chassis to work, you know. And guys, trust me, it was a pretty cool project. I changed a lot of the screws here. They was too short, they were falling apart, you know, because the screws are so short. So I changed the screws. I used the RedCat shocks, the same size with the original shocks. And up front here, let me take it on close and show you. So right here on the steering arm, I end up using one of the plastic bushings what came from the original arm. This plastic bushing right here, end up using that bushing and put it right here because I want to extend the steering link here. And what that does for me, that helped me get a better steering radius so the vehicle can get more steering, and that worked out really great. And even here, I put a longer screw on the steering arm what connect to the steering servo arm, and I put a metal bushing there again to help extend it, so that way it's not pulling down. You know, sometimes when you turn the steering, you cannot pull it down that way. There is no pulling down. When you turn, everything moves smoothly. So that is working out perfect, and I feel like I get like a 90-degree steering radius, you know. I'm getting all of it. So extend here, put a longer screw with a bushing, put a bushing at the bottom again, put a longer screw, and that make a big difference. All right, let's turn the chassis over and I'll show you what's going on. Of course, we change the motor. We'll put the Fusion inside the 1800 kV, and we use the RedCat receiver. I had us to lengthen the plug. I unsoldered it and put an extension wire so you can come all the way up front because the battery is up here. So the Fusion wire is too short. I lengthened that, and I also put connectors for the lights on the body. And I also changed this piece of Volcker here because what comes with those too short, this one is short. So I end up putting a longer piece from RC4WD, and that will hold a bigger battery in there. Now this thing is what I did again with the shocks, the bushing, what come out on the original shocks. I had us to put them up front here to make them work. I'm going to take you down closer and show you. Right here, there's the 2 pieces of gold bushing that came out on the original shocks. I had to use them there to space out the shock so you don't touch, so the spring don't touch. I did that on the both sides. At the back I didn't have to do that. And we also changed the servo. We're using the RedCat servo up front. So at the back here, I didn't have to change or do anything with the shocks. I didn't have to put any bushing back there. So check this out, guys. Look at the slant. It just ended up being that way. And that's exactly how I wanted to end up, you know. I didn't do anything special. Just because I pushed back the differential, the shocks end up slanting like that. Because using the hole on top, I get the full travel of the differential. So you go way back, you know. So I can get a better approach angle. That give that shocks, that slant. Up front, the same thing happened. So that worked out perfect. I think it turned out really cool. I have some wheels that I want to put on this Defender, and I'm going to show you how it look. Guys, so this is all the modification that I did with this Defender. I put the power button right here, receiver right there. This little servo here, it is 4.7 volt, you know, but I'm using 3-cell batteries, so I can't use this. I can use a BSC and all that, but I'm thinking I'm going to change the servo. So for now, I just have it on high gear, and high gear still give me good low crawling capability, so I just set it on 1 speed and that's it. Yeah, but so far, guys, this is all the modification I had to do with this vehicle to get it to a perfect RC crawling vehicle, you know. I extend the screws for the shocks. I did the same thing at the back. So just little tweaks and, you know, things you gotta do, and that's it. But I'm very amazed to see how the RedCat differentials work out. Even the shocks, it's perfect. All right, so we're gonna put the wheels up, put the body together, and I'm gonna show you how it look.